The Galactic Council prided itself on knowing every species within their sphere of influence. They catalogued hundreds of civilizations, some peaceful, some hostile, but all predictable. That was until the day they encountered humanity. The encounter began with what should have been a routine patrol. The Valoran cruiser Draxel, a sleek vessel 3 kilometers long, cruised along the edge of an uncharted star system. The Valorans were proud warriors, their fleet considered among the most advanced in the galaxy. Their reputation was one of intimidation. Few ships dared to approach without immediate surrender. Captain Xyler Vorn, a veteran of 20 campaigns, watched the void beyond his viewscreen. His crew reported an unknown ship entering the system. Its profile was strange, angular, sharp-edged, with armor plating thicker than any civilian craft should carry. "Magnify," Xyler ordered. The screen revealed the vessel in detail. A massive construct of steel gray, bristling with turrets and missile bays. Its design was crude by Valoran standards, lacking elegance, lacking grace. Yet something about it radiated menace. "A primitive ship," scoffed the science officer. "No energy sails, no plasma shielding. Just metal and combustion thrusters. It should not be here." Xyler's mandibles twitched. Primitive or not, the ship was moving directly toward them. "Identify its origin." The computer hesitated, then spat out a name unfamiliar to every Valoran aboard. Humanity, Species 5013. Status: newly spacefaring. Homeworld Earth. Estimated threat level: negligible. The crew relaxed. Primitive race. Nothing to fear. Xyler almost believed it, until the primitive ship hailed them. The viewscreen flickered, revealing a human. He wore a dark uniform, shoulders squared, eyes sharp with discipline. His face was lined, his gaze steady, and when he spoke, his voice carried weight. "This is Captain Jonathan Hayes of the UNS Resolute. Identify yourselves." The crew exchanged glances. The human had not sounded fearful, not submissive. He spoke as if his ship were an equal, not a lamb before slaughter. Xyler sneered. "This is the Valoran cruiser Draxel, property of the Galactic Council. You will power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will be annihilated." The human captain didn't flinch. Instead, he leaned forward slightly, his lips curling in what Valorans later learned was called a smile. "Board us? You're welcome to try." Before Xyler could issue a command, the human ship fired its engines. Not plasma, not antimatter drives, but massive nuclear pulse propulsion. The warship surged forward, closing the distance in seconds. "Impossible!" cried the helmsman. That acceleration would liquefy their crew. Yet sensors confirmed the human vessel's crew remained active. Reinforced hull plating and inertial dampeners of unfamiliar design were absorbing the punishment. Then the Resolute opened fire. The Valorans expected energy weapons, sleek and efficient beams of plasma or ion bursts. Instead, the humans unleashed a storm of projectile weaponry. Solid tungsten slugs screamed through the void at a fraction of light speed. The Valoran shields flared and shattered. "Shields down? From kinetics?" The tactical officer howled. Explosions rippled across the Draxel's hull. The Valorans were stunned, not by the damage itself, but by the brutality of the weapons. Each impact was raw violence, primitive yet devastating. Xyler's mandibles quivered. "Return fire!" The Draxel unleashed beams of searing plasma. They lanced into the Resolute, splashing harmlessly against its armored hull. The human ship shuddered but held firm. Then it responded not with energy beams but with a swarm of missiles. Hundreds of them. The Valorans had seen missiles before, antiquated, weak, easy to swat down. But these missiles carried adaptive guidance, shifting vectors mid-flight, evading countermeasures. The Draxel's point defenses scrambled, blasting dozens apart. Yet dozens more slipped through. The first detonations ripped holes in the Draxel's flank. The crew screamed. "Impossible," Xyler muttered, gripping the armrest of his command chair. "They are primitives. They should not." Another explosion silenced him. The Resolute circled, hammering the Valoran warship again and again. Its tactics were shockingly reckless, charging headlong into fire, shrugging off damage that would cripple most Council ships. Humans, it seemed, were willing to take risks no other species dared, and that made them terrifying. At last, the Resolute ceased fire. The Valoran cruiser drifted, half-crippled, its hull bleeding atmosphere into the void. The human captain reappeared on screen, calm and composed. "You initiated this," Captain Hayes said coldly. "But let this be your only lesson. Humanity does not bow. We fight, and if you threaten us again, you'll learn just how far we'll go to win." The transmission cut. The Resolute turned and slipped into the darkness of space, leaving the mighty Valoran cruiser crippled and humiliated. Silence filled the bridge. The Valoran science officer finally spoke, voice trembling. "Captain, their technology is crude. But their methods," he swallowed. "No species fights like this. No species would choose to build ships like that." Xyler stared at the smoking wreckage of his ship. The words tasted bitter, but they were true. "They are not primitives," he whispered. "They are predators." And across the galaxy, the story spread like wildfire. The day the Valorans met the humans, and for the first time in centuries, the galaxy learned fear again.